ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। So namaste everyone once again.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guru.
Okay. So we
Hari
are
Om Guruji.
Hari Om. Seventh mantra. We will chant the mantra and also the last line of the bhashya, which we were seeing in the last class and towards the end of the last class. Okay. Plavahete
Plavahete
adrida
Adrida
yajna rupaha
Yajnarupaha
ashtadashoktamavaram
Ashtadashokamaram
yeshu karma
Yeshu Karma
etat shreyah
Etashreyah
ye binandanti
Ebinandanti
मूढ़ाः
Mudaha
जरा मृत्युम
Jaramrityum
ते पुनरेवापि
Te
Punarevapi
यन्ति।
Yanti
Now bhashyam, last sentence. यतः एवं
Yataha evam
एतत् कर्म
Etat Karma
श्रेयः श्रेयकारणम्
Shreyah Shreyakaranam
इति
Iti
ये अभिनन्दन्ति
Te Abhinandanti
अभिहृष्यन्ति
Abhirishyanti
अविवेकिनः
Avidekinaha
मूढ़ाः
Mudaha
अतः
Ataha
ते जरा च मृत्युं च
Te
Etasmrtyumcha
जरा मृत्युं
Jaramrityum
किंचित् कालं
Kinchit kalam
स्वर्गे स्थित्वा
Swarge
Sattva
पुनरेवापि यन्ति
Punarevapi yanti
भूयोऽपि गच्छन्ति।
Bhuyo Gachanti.
Very good. Today sound was all very energetic. Okay. So we were discussing in the last class from this mantra onwards till the 12th mantra of this section. In fact, 11th mantra, not 12th, 11th mantra of this section, the Upanishad is pointing out the limitations of the Aparavidya route. That is the Karma Kanda route for attaining moksha. And this mantra says the reason for the limitation of the Aparavidya route is that the factors involved in the performance of the karmas, namely karma, action, karakas, the accessories, and karma phala, the result of karma, all three of them are fragile in nature, and therefore they are finite and perishable. And a root which is perishable cannot deliver moksha, which is infinite and imperishable. Therefore, a person who has got a clear thinking about what means should be pursued to attain the desired ends should come to the conclusion that this Karmakanda route, this Aparavidya route, is not Shreya Karanam. It is not the means for moksha. And as we noted, Bhashyakara clarified that this criticism of Aparavidya route applies only to performance of karmas not accompanied by upasana. Because we have seen earlier that karma combined with upasana will produce the result in the form of travel to Brahmaloka, where one can get Kramamukti. And therefore, the Ninda by the Upanishad is restricted only to Kevala Karma. Then Bhashyakara, in the last sentence of the Bhashyam, which we just now chanted, goes on to say that even though this limitation of karma as a means for moksha is a known fact, there are some deluded people who continue to hold on to the karmas for attaining moksha. And not only that, they are very proud about their misguided stand and they rejoice in this misunderstanding. So he says, Yataha evam means, Yataha means because. Evam means of this alone. So because of this alone, that is, since the above mentioned fact that karma cannot give moksha is an eternal fact, therefore, etat is there in the Moolam. Bhashyakara says it refers to karma. And the next word in the Moolam is Shreya. And Bhashyakara comments as Shreya Karanam. And this sentence should be within inverted commas because this is the thinking of the Moodhas. It reflects the thinking of the deluded people. So the Upanishad is quoting the thought pattern of the deluded people. So even though it is an eternal fact that Kevala Karma cannot give moksha, some deluded people keep themselves busy with these karmas, believing that they will lead to moksha, freedom from samsara. And those people, ye refers to those deluded people. Ye is there in the Moolam, refers to those deluded people. Abhinandanti, that is also there in the mantra. For that, Bhashyakara gives the meaning Abhihrishyanti. Abhihrishyanti means they will become happy they will be rejoicing at the thought that this karma will give me moksha. Those people happily claim. In fact, they proudly claim as though they are very intelligent. And if you go and tell them you are wrong, they will argue with you. As Vedantins, we don't argue with anybody. Isn't it? If that is your belief, you continue with that. Bhagavan Krishna says, please don't interfere in anybody's belief. Even if they are believing it wrongly, let them believe so. If at all they come and ask you whether what I am doing is right or wrong, then you can give them advice, the correct advice as per the scriptures. And why they are happily claiming, in spite of being a wrong idea, Vashyakara says, because they are avivekina. They are indiscriminate, thoughtless people. They are living in their own make-believe world. They must have studied the Shastra a little bit here and there and all. Without proper guru, without proper study of the Shastra. Proper study means it has to be studied in a particular manner. You can't just study something here, something there, and then try to connect the two. So they are living in their own make-believe world. And in fact, they can very easily learn all these things by various sources of knowledge, which actually in the mantra itself will talk about in the 12th mantra. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmana. That mantra will come. And by our personal experience also, we can know that karma phalam is anityam. Isn't it? Because whether we are having a very good time in our life, or for that matter, very bad time in our life, if we understand that all these things are result of my own karmas, it is the karma phalam which is visiting me and giving me good times and bad times, and these also will not last. As they say, this will also pass away. So whether it is good times, it will last for some time, go away. As long as punya is there, active, you will have good times. Then the next round of papa will come, then you will have bad times. So we can apply this logic to our own life. We can also know this by studying other people's life, their sufferings, etc. We have seen, how some millionaires, people who have just been imagining, have been living a very fantastic life. Suddenly, everything is lost. They are in jail. That today, the last couple of days, we are seeing in the media, isn't it? One Swami, what is that? Chaityatmananda or somebody. He was the head of an institution run by Sringeri Ashram. Just imagine. He now turns out to be a totally con man. With huge 8 crore deposit. That's what the newspapers say. He has got a bank account, 8 crore deposit. He has forged all, UN identification, everything. He has been fooling people. He has been actually indulging in immoral activities. All because some punya karma he must have done. But then, chine punye, all papa karmas come. Now immediately that fellow is caught. All along, nobody had the guts to actually raise a voice against him. But just see, one complaint followed up by many more complaints, that fellow is in jail today. Everything is lost. His bank account is frozen. So if we look at all these things, I mean, we can know so many. Naresh Goyal, that Jet Airways chairman, what is his condition today? Some time ago, I read a news item that he says that I would prefer to die instead of living like this. And what he was the king of the sky, Jet Airways. So good times, bad times, it doesn't take much time to change completely. And not only personal experience, we can know all these things with the help of scriptures also. So pratyaksha, upamana, anumana, agama pramanaihi. We can know all these things. There are several sources we can know. But despite all these things, this human being who is just sticking on to these karmas for moksha doesn't know, because he has not used his Viveka Shakti. He has not used his discriminatory prowess, which is a part of this intellect. Therefore, they are called avivekinaha. And in fact, Upanishad uses a very, very strong word, muda. But Bhashyakara does not want to use such strong words, and rightly so. I think when we see the mantra also, when we were seeing the meaning of the mantra, I had explained Pujya Swamiji's approach to such words, I mean, he does not denounce anybody, rather. Everybody has got a right to have their own opinion, whether right or wrong. We cannot judge people based upon what opinions they have got. And therefore, Bhashyakara puts it mildly, avivekinaha, which is a decent word. They suffer from a serious misconception. And misconceptions can be of two types. One is an inexpensive misconception, in the sense that the consequences of such misconception are not very serious. We don't have to pay a big price for such misconceptions. But there are some very, very expensive misconceptions for which eventually we will end up paying a huge price. And Bhashyakara says that the misconception that the result of karma will be swarga is such an expensive misconception, because in that state of delusion, one would end up wasting the most precious human life, which could have been used for getting moksha here and now in this life itself. It is a loss of an entire human life, which is very rare to get. All because of this single misconception. And therefore he says, ataha, because of entertaining this serious misconception. No, Bhashyakara, if you remember, started this sentence with yataha, which is a relative pronoun. Now for that, you have to bring in a correlative pronoun, that is ataha. So because, therefore. So because they have this serious misconception, therefore, ataha, what is the price that they have to pay? Te means such deluded people. Jara mrityum. This word is there in the Moolam. Bhashyakara says, Jara cha mrityum cha. Jara means old age and its consequent problems. The old age always includes all consequent physical, mental problems. Loss of hearing, loss of eyesight, forgetfulness, emotional turbulence, loneliness, frustration, difficulty even walking, limbs become weak. There is always a risk that you will fall. And many people, it's very common for old people to fall in the bathroom, hurt themselves, sometimes hip fracture or some bone fracture. All these problems are all related to this jara, this old age. And all these could be very torturing unless you learn how to deal with them. In fact, I had one old relative, 80 plus, who had lost his hearing completely. Sometimes he will use this hearing aid, but he used to complain that is making lot of noise. So what will happen when some people will visit, family gathering is there? He will also be sitting along with us, and we will all be talking, laughing, etc., which he can't hear. So he used to get very angry and frustrated. And many times, these old people have got some sort of a complex that whenever they are not able to hear and understand what is going on, they think that everybody else is only talking about them and criticizing them. This is another big problem with old people. So, old age has got lot of problems. I'm sure that each one of us, if we recollect, we would have had similar experiences with people suffering from old age. So, jara. And what is the culmination of old age? Mrityu, death. And even though everyone knows that if there is one thing certain in life, that is death. Still, when one becomes old and death is around the corner, it will give rise to two types of emotional disturbance. One is fear, because death is an unknown entity. So the fear of the unknown is there. And when we hear that someone close to our age, like a cousin or some relative, is no more, this fear multiplies. The thought that I could be the next will haunt that person. This is one emotional issue. Another emotional issue, which also I have seen in old people, is extreme frustration because of all the physical problems, pains, aches all over the body, etc. Because of which they want to die quickly. I have seen an old widowed lady who was suffering from numerous health problems, including severe osteoporosis, that every day morning she will cry and ask why God is not taking her away and relieving her of this miserable existence. This is another emotional problem. On the one side, I don't want to die because I am afraid of death. On the other hand, I want to die because I want to get away from all these problems of jara. So jara mrityum, the heavy price that such deluded people have to pay because of missing the golden opportunity to gain moksha in this life is that they remain in samsara with all its accompanying misery, sorrow, grief, everything. And such a samsara is presented here by the word attainment of jara and mrityu. However, such people, since they have performed the karma, they will certainly get karma phalam. And that karma phalam would be what? Some punya, which will result in some of them, some benefits coming in this janma itself in the form of money, possession, name, fame, position, power. All these are all what? Ihaloka karma phalam. The results of karma belonging to this world. And they can also get certain other karma phalam after death in the form of going to Swargaloka. But whether it is Ihaloka phalam or Paraloka phalam, both are perishable. And therefore, what will happen? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, that cycle will continue, which is another very salient feature of samsara. So samsara actually defined in the Shastras as two major features. One is while living, undergoing all these sufferings, sorrow, grief, difficulties, challenges in life, one part of samsara. As a result, always being unhappy. Other aspect of samsara is punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. You are again born to go through all the suffering. You can be born, you don't know what you are going to be born as. You can even be born as a mosquito, which is subject to just one slap by somebody, finished, dead. So, that is what these people, these deluded people who are sticking on to karma, thinking that the karma will give them moksha, they get stuck in samsara. But there is a silver lining which Bhashyakara highlights. In the case of Paraloka Phala, in the form of Swarga, etc., that Punarapi Jananam will come after enjoying all the pleasures of Sargaloka, including the dance programs by Ramba, Urvashi, etc. Isn't it? Music by Gandharva. So as Krishna says in the Gita, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam chine punye matyalokam vishanti. So Bhashyakara wants to highlight that positive aspect also. So he says, Kinchit kalam swarge stitva punarevapi yanti bhuyopi gachanti. Kinchit kalam swarge stitva. The scriptures say that in Swargaloka, this person will live for several years. In fact, Ishavasya Upanishad says, Shashwati Samaha, almost like eternal, permanent, very, very long years. And it will appear as though it is permanent. But Bhashyakara says, okay, that is all fine. You may be having a very long period in Swargaloka. Whatever be the number of years in the Swarga, for a Vedantin, it is only Kinchit Kalam. A very small period of time. Because even the longest period of time is finite from the standpoint of infinite time. from the standpoint of eternity. Moksha for me is eternity. There is no punarapi jananam. So as compared to that, whatever may be the number of years that you live in Swarga, it is kinchit kalam only. Therefore, kinchit kalam swarge stitva. After being in Swarga for whatever time, punarevapi yanti. Punarevapi yanti is there in the Moolam. Bhashyakara says bhuyopi gachanti. Bhuyopi means once again. Gachanti, they go back to where they started. They continue in the samsara chakra. The cycle of samsara will continue. So with this, the seventh mantra is over. So thus in this mantra, the limitation of karma and karma phala was pointed out by saying that both of them are dependent upon perishable factors and therefore they cannot give imperishable result. And therefore, the person will continue to remain in samsara when he is committed to karma alone. This is the message of this mantra. Now we will go to the next mantra, 1.2.8. And for the next mantra, Bhashyakara gives a one-word introduction. Rather, we should not even call it introduction. He says kincha. Kincha means moreover, which indicates that the idea expressed in the previous mantra continues. So in the previous mantra, the Upanishad criticized the karma by presenting the limitations of karma. Now here in this mantra, the Upanishad strongly criticizes the karmi, the people who perform the karmas and who refuse to think and learn. So we will read the Bhashyam and the mantra. Okay. Kincha
Kincha
avidyayamantare
avidyayamantare
vartamanaha
Vartamanaha
swayam dhiraha
Swayam
Dhiraha
panditam manyamanaha
Panditam Manyamanaha
janganyamanaha
Janyamanaha
pariyanti mudaha
Pariyantimudaha
andhenaiva
Andhenaiva
niyamanaha
Niyamanaha
yatandaha.
Yatandaha
Good. So I'll give you the Padacheda. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha janganyamanaha pariyanti mudaha andhena eva niyamanaha yatha andaha. This is the Padacheda. All words split. Now I'll give you the gist of the mantra. Then we will go to the Bhashyam. So in the previous mantra, the Upanishad criticized karma. Now, as I said, the Upanishad here strongly criticizes the karmi, the people who refuse to think and learn and who are stuck to karmas. The Upanishad says, if a person uses his intellect and learns from the life experiences, then any human being can easily come to the conclusion that karma and karma phalam are anityam. And if that person doesn't have that intellectual capacity, suppose, then we have in our culture got an additional help in the form of the scriptures. Wise people are there, gurus are there, acharyas are there. They are ready to help us. So all these gurus, acharyas, scriptures are all what? Like a may I help you counter in airport or in railway station. They are ready to serve. They are prepared to give us free consultancy. And they will very easily help a human being in discriminating between Nityam and Anityam. So scriptures are there, Mahatmas are there. But these Muda, who are later going to be elevated to the position of Pramuda, next title. So like Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan and all, they get promoted from Muda to Pramuda. Why Pramuda? We'll see later. Upanishad is going to say that these people do not learn by themselves, nor are they willing to take the assistance of scriptures and Mahatmas. When they are offered help, they say, I don't require your assistance because I am intelligent. I know whatever is to be known. Therefore, they claim they are intelligent and informed. In fact, I'm reminded of a joke when my maths teacher used to crack in my maths class when I was in middle school, 8th standard. So there was one boy called Bhaskar. Very, very silent. He will not talk to anybody. He will sit in the last bench. And it will appear as if he is not listening to the lectures and all. Of course, poor guy, probably he had certain personal problem. I don't know. But he used to come to the school regularly and all that. And after, during the class, as usual, maths teacher used to ask questions. Now, I've explained this. Can you explain this back to me and all that? I ask some questions. So sometimes he will ask this Bhaskar, have you understood? There will be no expression on Bhaskar's face. Just be blank. So he will go to that Bhaskar, near that Bhaskar on the last bench. And he will put his hand, the teacher's hand on the head and just go on. He'll say in Tamil, Bhaskar irkane, romba nalla payyam. Those who don't know Tamil, please excuse me because this is, you will enjoy this only if I say it in Tamil. So Bhaskar irkane, romba nalla payyam. அவனுக்கு சொன்னாலும் புரியாது தன்னாலும் தெரியாது. Like that, he is a pramudaha. So like that, these people, they themselves don't realize, and when they are offered the help also, they refuse to take the help. And the Upanishad says, since there is no way of their getting out of this mess, because they will be going round and round, groping in darkness, they are going to continue in this samsara chakra, battered by all types of problems, adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivika, tapas. And they are going to batter them, shatter them. And the Upanishad explains with an example. And here we must note one important point. When the Shruti is talking about and criticizing the people committed to karma, when the people who are obsessed with karma are talked about, we have to understand the purpose behind such criticism. The purpose is not criticizing karma or karmi for the sake of criticism. The purpose is to highlight that moksha is possible only by jnanam, and jnanam is possible only when viveka and vairagyam are there. Viveka to see what one can get and what one cannot get through karma, and vairagyam to grow out of that obsession with karma. And therefore, we must understand the emphasis of the Upanishad is on seeing things objectively. And as we know the benefits of karma, we have already talked about it. Therefore, limitations are to be shown. That is what is an objective analysis is, the pros and cons. So limitations of karma are shown not to really criticize or stop a person from doing karma. That is not the purpose. If a person feels that he requires karma, he should do karma. But with reference to moksha, karmas play a limited role. They cannot give limited result. So that part only we must understand. That part only the Upanishads are highlighting. Otherwise, the karmis, people who are religiously, who are doing the karmas are much better than those who are either not doing the karma or they are doing adharma karma, papa karma most of the time. And therefore, in comparison with such people, the position of this person who is doing karma is highly exalted. So doing karma is better than doing adharma karma. Dharma karma means karma which is in the form of dharma. A karma which is prescribed by Shastra is called dharma karma. So a karma which is dharma rupa is better than adharma. But this dharma karma also is inferior, limited when compared to moksha. And therefore its limitation is shown. So all these aspects should be very clear in our mind. So it is not a criticism for the sake of criticism. It is to bring in objectivity in our approach, in our thinking, in our understanding, in our attitude. It is in this way we have to see the limitation of karma being shown by the scriptures. And here in this mantra, the people who are obsessed with karma and not ready to listen to anybody, those people are criticized. So these aspects and all should be very clear. Otherwise, we'll say, what is this Upanishad? So negative approach, criticizing people and all. That is not the purpose. We must not have that kind of a feeling or understanding. Okay. Now let us see the mantra. Avidyayam antare vartamana. These people. So this is referring to those people who are karmis, who are being talked about in this mantra. They are vartamana hai, they are remaining or steeped in. Antare means in. Avidyayam, in avidya. So the people who are steeped in avidya. Now what is the meaning of avidya? Because Shastra gives different meaning of avidya in different places. Even Bhashyakara also takes different meanings depending upon the context. One meaning of avidya is this avarana shakti, the veiling power, the covering power of maya, which successfully keeps us away from the knowledge of the reality of Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. So we generally translate avidya as ignorance and also ignorance born conclusions. And with reference to avidya, Pujya Swamiji discusses that the word avidya has got two meanings. One is ignorance, the other meaning is adhyasa. Adhyasa means misconceived superimposition. Both meanings are there. Sorry. And in the Shastra, the word avidya is used in both the senses. In fact, in Brahma Sutra, in Adhyasa Bhashyam, Bhashyakara says, avidyam ahuhu. So our Siddhanta is that avidya can refer to ajnanam and also it refers to ajnana janya adhyasaha. So adhyasaha and ajnanam both are referred to by the word avidya. Sometimes it may refer to one, it may refer to ajnanam, sometimes it may refer to adhyasa, depending upon the context we have to interpret. And sometimes it will refer to both. So all this, when we study the Shastras, right, including Brahma Sutram and all, we will have to keep all these things in mind. So here we can take both the meanings. Avidya refers to ignorance, that is ignorance of my true nature, my real nature. And the ignorance born conclusion which is adhyasa. Adhyasa, as I said, means superimposition. So avidya adhyasa means ajnanam tat karyani cha. So here avidya means both ajnanam and its karyam, ignorance and ignorance born conclusions. And what is the adhyasa? The fundamental adhyasa is considering oneself to be panchakosha, considering myself to be annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and anandamaya kosha. Superimposing all these koshas, these coverings, on my true nature, which is Brahman, which is Atma, which is Kevalam. So this is one adhyasa. So I am superimposing all these on my Brahma Swarupam, on my Atma Swarupam. And that is the fundamental cause for all my suffering, misery, and grief. And the second adhyasa is considering myself to be karta bhokta. I am a doer of karma. I will be rewarded with the result of karma in the form of punya and papa. This is another adhyasa. Generally, most people have misconception about themselves, about the world, about Ishvara, about moksha, about bondage. And all these misconceptions can be referred to by one word, avidya. So all misconceptions in spiritual world are referred to by avidyayam antare vartamana. People who are in ignorance and also in the misconceived conclusions born of ignorance. Because some level of ignorance is okay, because everybody when born has some ignorance. But the people who are referred here have got one additional problem. What is that? The mantra says, Swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha. Manyamanaha means they are considering Swayam, themselves, dhiraha as intelligent. First problem is they are ignorant and ignorant born conclusions, misconceptions. But they consider themselves to be very intelligent, and therefore they think they can figure out things by themselves. We have such personalities in our midst, Why should I consult anybody? Yeah, I am intelligent and I know everything. And not only they are dhira, but also pandita. They consider themselves to be pandita. Pandita means scholars, learned people. Now, what is the difference between dhira and pandita? Dhira means intelligent, but an intelligent person can also be uneducated, isn't it? Many people who are in the rural areas, in villages and all, they may not have any education, but they are very intelligent people. So a dhira need not be a pandita. Like a small child also, very intelligent it may be. It might not have studied, it would not even started going to school, but we can see the brilliance, the intelligence in the way the child talks, the way the child behaves. So a person is dhira, intelligent, but not yet studied. Pandita means they have information, but they don't have enough intelligence to apply it well. That is also possible. Pandita, one meaning is they are very learned people. And Pandita can also mean they are learned, all right, but they are not using their intelligence to apply the learning to their life. So, the word dhira and pandita have got two different qualities to be conveyed. So, these people are considering themselves to be intelligent and also well learned. Panditam manyamanaha. Therefore, they don't go to the Guru for getting advice. And they ask themselves, I do all the karmas, I get up early morning, I am doing Sandhya, Trikala Sandhya Vandanam, I am doing all the pujas, everything. And now Saraswati Puja is coming, I am going to do Saraswati Puja. I do Ganesh Puja, I do all pujas. I observe all Ekadashi Vratam, everything. Still, I am suffering in life. The sense of limitation doesn't go away. So they question themselves all these things. Even for a moment, they don't think, yeah, I'm having this problem despite all these things. Why don't I go and consult some guru, some learned person, and see maximum what they will do, they will go to an astrologer. Funny thing. And that fellow will say, you have got this dosha, that dosha, and all that. He will extract a large amount of money. He will say, you should do this price, this particular puja, and if you can't do, I will do it. You pay me 50,000 rupees. I will go to a temple and I will do all these things. So as I said, that such people, they neither know by themselves nor they understand when others advise them. And that is why somebody said, if you don't know, but you know that you don't know, then you can know. But if you don't know and you think you know, your chances of knowing are very, very less. Very interesting. Isn't it? I hope you have got it. It's a very interesting quotation. If you don't know, but you know that you don't know, then you can know. But if you don't know and you think you know, then your chances of knowing are almost remote. Why? Because you think you already know. And you will not have the mind to ask, mind to read, because you are so self-confident. Therefore, even if one thinks he knows, and someone says to him, you may be knowing, Baba, why don't you validate your knowledge? Then that person must have the humility to say, I think I know, but I may be wrong. I will check again. That will be the right approach. But such people are not being talked about here. Here the people think Swayam Dhira hai, Panditam Manyamana hai. And therefore, what happens to them? Just give me a second. I will plug in the charger because my computer is giving me signal that the battery is low. Usually I do, today somehow I missed. So, Swayam Dhira hai, Panditam Manyamana hai. And therefore, what happens to them? Janganyamana hai, Pariyanti Muda hai. Those people are Muda hai, deluded. We have discussed this word in the previous sloka. So I don't want to again go, and you all understand it very well. And Pariyanti means they wander all over. Pari means all over. Paritaha. Yanti is the same sense of wander. So they wander all over. But if they are wandering happily, no problem. Good thing. But some people like traveling, They wait for retirement, save a huge amount of money till retirement. Children are grown up, settled, everything. These people like to travel. So every 3 months, they will, husband and wife, they will go to see the world, look around, go to different places, travel around, spend the time very nicely, happy people. And once you are traveling, you don't have to deal with all your day-to-day problems in your home. You don't have to think what you are going to cook because you will go to some hotel, restaurant and eat. If you remain in one place, you have to deal with so many problems, isn't it? But here, these people, these deluded people, are wandering around not happily, but janganyamana hai, intensely and frequently afflicted. This word is a very wonderful word, janganyamana. The word is from verbal root han. Han means to kill, to afflict, to hurt. All these meanings are there. And it is janganyamana is a particular usage in the Sanskrit grammar, which means intensely and frequently. So janganyamana means intensely, frequently afflicted. So the people who are afflicted, the people who are hurt, these deluded people, being constantly and frequently afflicted, wander aimlessly in this life and also from one life to another. They have no goal in their life. If at all there, the goals are finite goals. And they, from one finite goal to another finite goal, they keep on jumping. What is their situation? That is described in one example by giving one example. Andhena eva niyamana hai yata andha hai. They are like the blind being led by the blind. Just as one blind person is led by another blind person. then the chances of falling will be twice. Because one person who is leading will fall because of his own blindness. And since he is leading another person who is also blind, he will also fall. Andena eva means by a blind person alone. Niyamana hai means led. Yatha, just as. Anda hai the blind people. So this is the lot of such deluded people. They will be falling into a ditch or on the thorns. Similarly, these deluded people will be suffering. So these people's lot is Andhe naiva niyamana hai yata anda hai. This is the example. Drishtanta. Now, what is the drashtanta, the principle that is required to be established? That we will see in the next class. Okay. Time is up. Om Purnamada Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Dhanyavada hai. Thank you very much, everyone.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು
Guruji.
ಗುರುಜಿ.
Thank you.
Guruji.
Thank you.
Dhanyawad.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaste, pranam.
Namaste, pranam, namaste. Thank you.
Namaskaram. Hari Om.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskar.
Yo, namaskaram. Namaskaram.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? No hands are going up.
Guruji, one comment.
Yeah.
What you said is very nice. A person who knows that he doesn't know, there's a possibility of knowing. And person who doesn't know and thinks he knows, no possibility.
Correct.
Sadhguru also says this statement.
Yeah, I mean, this
that,
is very
I do not.
Swami Paramathananda also quotes this. This is a very
Yes,
famous quotation.
Very, very nice quotation.
Very nice. Yeah.
Thanks, Guruji. It was very nice.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
It is living in delusion.
Yeah, living in illusion. Yeah, exactly. That is true. 1 second. There's a call coming from my maid.
Oh.
She's called.
Thank you.
1 second. Hello. சரி அப்படியா சரி சரி ஓகே ரைட் ஓகே ஓகே சரி ஓகே சரி ஓகே ஓகே ரைட் சரி ஓகே சாரி
No, I say it's living in delusion.
Living in delusion, anything you can call misconception. But that is very real in life rather. In fact, many people have this kind of reservation going and approaching people, asking for, clarification and all. They feel that, what they will think of me. They will think I'm a fool, I'm an idiot and all. So again, they're living in their own make-believe world rather. Nobody will think, if you go and ask somebody, especially some guru or some acharya, some genuine doubt, they will very happily explain. Because their aim is what? Let me help humanity to the best extent possible in giving them the right guidance. Nobody is going to, and this problem is there right in even school and all, Many students will have doubts, but they will not ask the question in the class. Yes, they will think that, oh, this is a stupid question. If I ask, what will the other people think and all that? There is no question which is a stupid question. Every question is a valid question as far as that person is concerned. He has got a genuine doubt. Ask it, what is there? So this is all general behavioral patterns rather.
Oh, but unfortunately, life our human psyche revolves around what the other person will think,
Yeah.
which
And
is
that is the
which is a
biggest,
very biggest problem.
the Vairagyam should start there.
Yes.
Your disassociation first should start. I know, and it should not be out of arrogance. It should not be out of indifference. It
But
should
out of
be
humility.
out of humility. I feel what I am doing is right. I am a dharmic person. If other persons are going to laugh at me, doesn't matter. If they are going to think I am a foolish person to do all these karmas and all, let them think, so what? So that should come out of humility, that should come of understanding. And one must have that feeling, eventually I am going to renounce all these things. They do not know the purpose why I am doing all this Sandhya Vandana karma. I am doing it for Chitta Shuddhi. They think that I am doing it for earning some punya. That is their misunderstanding. As a Vedanta practitioner, I am doing it for Chitta Shuddhi. If you are convinced about that, you don't need to bother what other people think. They may make caricatures of them. Doesn't matter. That is the beauty, I mean, I admire this particular aspect or this particular quality in our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. See, whatever anybody says, he doesn't react at all. Of course, sometimes when it is very serious, he will show his reaction not in words, but in action. Especially if that criticism is hurting the country, hurting the people of the country. He will show it in action. But personally, he doesn't take anything personal there. So that should be the right attitude for all of us.
Yeah, that shows the sign of maturity.
Sign of maturity. We must learn that. So actually speaking, whatever Shastras say, if we look around, a living example we can find in our life itself. But we must have eyes and ears and mind open to see all these things. That is important. Okay. Any other comment, question? Or we can close the session and continue next week.
Yeah, I think we can close.
Okay, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om,
Hari Om,
Guruji.
Guruji.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
All a very
Thank
happy and this some
Vijayadashmi.
Puja, Vijayadashmi and Dashera. All the
Thanks a
best.
lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji.
Thanks
Wish
for
you,
your presence.
wish you and everyone else
I
happy
have
Dasara.
one small request.
Yeah.
I have one small request. I'll send you a message. A couple of children are coming home on Vijayadashmi day. I run a small library for children, for the caregivers, children in the society. I want to tell them the importance of Vijayadashmi.
Okay.
So small
You want some
right.
write-up or something?
Yeah, yes, if possible.
Okay, I will draft something.
Something which the children can understand
Exactly. Yeah. So
and relate to.
And relate. I will try to work out something. Send it to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guruji.
Hari Om.